welcome back to Romance Gardens. I'm Katie and I have two dogs that I absolutely adore. And for many of us that have pets, we sometimes worry about what plants are we putting in our house and are they safe for pets. I'm lucky enough that my dogs really don't eat my plants, so I don't have to be as careful, but it is very wise to know what your animals like and dislike to make sure that if they are going to be biting at plants, you're looking for plants that are listed as pet safe. Now you can find lists of this under the ASPCA. We usually will note it on all of our houseplants if they are pet safe, and when you come in the store we have it listed on the sign. As long as it's a plant that we have a confirmed answer, we will put on the sign whether it is pet safe, like a Calathea, whether it's moderately or mildly toxic, which means that the animal would really have to digest quite a bit of the plant, or that they're extremely toxic, which we recommend staying away from if you have active pets in your house that may want to eat some of the leaves. But to start with some of my favorites, these are a series of different Calatheas that we have. Calatheas are a wonderful plant. The main key with them is to keep them at a good temperature. You don't want them to get too cold. I always want to have a pot that has drainage, so I'll usually keep them in their nursery pot and drop them into a decorative pot. Once the plant starts to run a little drier, then you know you can water it. One tip that I do is I will run my finger down the side right about to this upper knuckle. If I feel any moisture on my way down, I know I'm not ready to water that one yet. But once it starts to feel dry when I put my finger down there, then I know I want to take it to the sink, give it a good soak, and then I usually leave them in the sink for about 5, 10, maybe even 20 minutes to allow all the excess moisture to drain. Now this particular one is called Peacock. One of my favorite things is just how the underside of the leaf is just gorgeous. And then you can see on the top, I can see why they call it peacock. It almost has a feather look. So this is really, really pretty. This is another new one that we have in. This has been around a while, but I just love it. This one is called Sylvia, and I was joking earlier that it almost looks like somebody put a little blush or rouge on her cheeks. So again, here's a Calathea Sylvia, very lovely plant, very easy to care for. And then we also have this guy, which is, I always forget the name, but it's Beauty something. Oh, sorry. See, even I can't remember everything. And this is a really neat one because you can see it has just a bit of blush pink in there, and it's also almost like somebody took a paintbrush and just did a really cool design. So most Calatheas are pet safe, but again, double check on your on the website or with us here in the store. This is a great option for having something safe for your cats and dogs. So one of my other favorite plants, and there are hundreds and hundreds of varieties, would be Pepperonias. Now you've probably seen a lot of the Pepperomoides, which is also sometimes called the Chinese money plant. Those are all wonderful, but I just wanted to highlight a couple varieties that we really like here. This one is Pepperonia Ginny. I always think it's fun that they have these pink edges. It's got almost a rubbery texture to it, and what I find about this one is it's very forgiving on both light levels and even watering if you forget to water it every once in a while. You can see that they actively grow, so you get roots coming out the side. You can do cuttings off of these and grow multiple plants, give them to your friends. But again, this is another dog and pet safe, cat safe plant. So we've got Pepperonia Ginny, and then we have Pepperonia Golden Gate. I must be struggling with the Pepperonia today. Anywho, this is an amazing plant, and what I like about this is the texture. Again, you've got 5 different colors of green in here. I mean, this will actually brighten a room. Sometimes when you don't have a lot of light, just getting a lighter colored plant in there can add a lot of color and a lot of brightness to your room. So again, this beautiful Golden Gate is great. And then this is probably one of my favorites. This is Pepperonia Frost. Pepperonia Frost, and like many Pepperomias, will send up these little spikers of flowers and seeds. I usually pull those off. I really just like the foliage, but you can also leave those up. But the best part about this is it's literally like it has been window pane frosted. It's got great texture. It's really easy to grow. If you ever get a little leaf or anything that has a blemish, you can just go ahead and pop that off. And again, you'll see a lot of it comes from the base down here, so we don't want it to sit really wet. We want to make sure that this plant is draining, but it spreads very quickly, and this is a very easy one too that you can take cuttings on, or you can divide and keep putting them in different size containers. So again, all of these Pepperomias are pet safe and are fabulous choices for your home. So ferns are an interesting thing. I love ferns, but I also find that mini ferns are very difficult. You have maidenhair ferns, which are almost impossible unless you just have that knack and you know how to do the right humidity levels. One of the easiest ferns I have found to grow is a bird's nest fern. It has a very rubbery leaf, but I mean, look at this color. It's just stunning. And then if you can kind of look in here, you're gonna see that it has this little nest in the center. And this is where all of the leaves will unfurl out of, almost just like little birds coming out of their little home. So this one, again, I wanna make sure you can mist it a little bit, but the main thing is just to keep it evenly watered. We're avoiding that soggy soil or letting it sit in a saucer to really absorb. And we wanna let it just start to dry in between, which will bring us back to my trick of putting your finger down the side. And if you feel some moisture, make sure that you don't water it at that point. Once you're starting to feel dryness about a knuckle or two down, then you know that you can give it a good drink. So again, look for bird's nest ferns. There's tons of different styles. There's ones that are curly. We have one that looks like a hurricane. It's like swirling around, so super fun. Take a look at the bird's nest ferns. This is actually a crocodile fern. The best part about it is it literally looks like alligator scales. Again, another easy fern. I've had such great luck with these. I'm not finding that I need a lot of misting or humidity, but I am finding that I can keep these alive in my house. Yes, all of us have our failures. Mine is maidenhair fern. So anyway, if you're looking for pet safe ferns, I suggest either one of these are great options. So I just wanted to hit on a couple more plants that I really like that are pet safe. One of them is the money tree. I say Pakira, and I may be pronouncing that wrong, but the coolest thing about this is it has a lot of history to it. There's a lot of Chinese history to this, and it's supposed to bring good luck to the people that you give it to. It also has a lot to do with fives and lucky numbers and different things and bringing wealth and other good things to your family. And that's why a lot of times you'll see these braided with 5 different trunks. So I think that's kind of cool. The other thing about these trunks is that they do hold some moisture. So this isn't a plant that you have to water very much. And I will tell you that these plants grow quickly. Within the first 2 to 4 weeks, you probably will get anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of new growth that'll come on this plant. It's pretty forgiving on light levels, although we do recommend more of a brighter light for this, just avoiding hot sun because it doesn't need to have intensity or heat on it. Now it's kind of almost like a hand. And again, these will grow out very big, and this will keep stretching up. I've seen some of these in 2 to 4 feet tall and even larger. But the main thing with this is, again, don't overwater it because it does hold some moisture on its own. This is very pet safe, and it's gonna bring you some good luck. And I don't know, maybe do something cool for you. But again, check out these guys, the money tree. And most people know about Ponytail Palms. I think it's such a cool name and it's such a cool plant. Unfortunately, I'm somebody that could play with this for hours. It's got such a great texture. It is another one where it's gonna hold a little bit of moisture, so this isn't something that you have to keep sopping wet. Make sure you check to see if the soil is drying lower in. You might find that your surface soils are drying quickly just because of evaporation and even like the heat running in your house. But the main thing is how watered is it down where the root is. So make sure that this is getting some good natural light. A lot of times if it's near a window, I sometimes will give it a quarter turn every week or so to make sure that the plant is getting its light very evenly. If you ever get any brown tips, you can always cut some of these back because it'll keep putting out new passion and new growth and new fun. So another pet safe plant that's fantastic and will give you a little bit more height is the Ponytail Palms. And you can find these in small, medium, and large. We tend to keep them in about a starter size like this, but we'd love to have you stop in and come check out our houseplant shipments that we just recently got in. There's a few rare items, a lot more everyday items, and if you look behind me, you can see that we're just getting loaded up with tons of plants. Not all of them are pet safe, so again, check the signs if you're worried about your pets or cats, dogs, all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you next time.